Hi. Hello. We're going to wait about 20 seconds and we'll start our video. So thank you so much for your patience. It's been really good for me to do this so far. So thank you for listening. Hi, my name is Jarrett Earl Casey. It's 7:47 p.m. on Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. I'm at my parents' house in Ogden, Utah, out on the back patio where we have kind of an outdoor room space here. It's nice. It's got two walled in by the house, and then the other two are grape leaves or grapevines, which kind of gives it this outdoor indoor space feel. And it's protected from the elements somewhat. So I love being out here, and it's so good to join you today. A little bit about how I've been doing. I've been doing okay. Probably not as well as I seem. I've been very tempted lately to use. I haven't used now in. It's been 2 months. Before that, it was almost 11 months. But I have been very tempted. So I had to work Saturday, and so that I wouldn't get overtime, they gave me tomorrow off, which is Wednesday. But today, and I was tempted to maybe try and get some drugs tonight to use because I had tomorrow off. But it didn't work out that way. My boss asked me if I would work. I could take the overtime, which is great. I need to earn extra money. And that way I don't go use either. So it's all working out. But I don't know why that urge has been so strong. I'm hoping it's something that I can move away from. So I've been etching back and forth on my diet. I'll lose 4 or 5 pounds, and I'll kind of gain it back, mostly through eating fast food. I have all these fast food apps on my phone, which I think is a big reason why I keep choosing fast food. So I think I might challenge myself to delete all of those today. Work is going well. We are being purchased by our own company. So right now we just manage the property, someone else owns it, but we, as the property management company, are going to be bought by our investment group company, or the property will be, and we'll just manage it as owners. So I get to keep my job. I don't have to go somewhere else. I'm still going to apply for a different job than I was going to apply for when that happened. So that's kind of good. Everything's going well there. I applied for an apartment. It's a low-income housing tax credit apartment. I might not qualify because I've been working overtime, so we have to kind of see how that goes. Actually, I'm going to pull up a calculator and see if I can do a little bit of math really quickly. So I make $13.60 a pay period, but if I make an extra $175 every pay period, it makes $15.35, and then if I make that for 26 pay periods, I never understood. 26 times 15.35. It's me at 39,910. So I can't work overtime every pay period, but I won't be making it every pay period. So, yeah. Anyways, if I don't qualify, then I will just keep looking for a place to live. I might end up living with my friend Mitchell at his place in Clearfield. Who knows? So, but I did apply for an apartment. It's in West Valley City. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I get to have my cat and my own space. There's no washer dryer, which I've never lived in that type of situation before, where I'm using a laundromat regularly, but I can certainly, do that and kind of add that to my routine. So that's kind of how I'm doing. I managed to save a few $1,000s, which is good. I get paid again Friday, so that'll bump me up to $4,000. I'm really not spending too much money, just gas and a little bit of food. So I'm doing pretty well there. I move on July 15th into the apartment if I'm approved. So that gives me like 4 more paychecks to 4 more. Let's see. It might even be 5. So I'll have this one on the 28th, and then the 11th, 25th, 9th, and 16th. So I'll get, 4 more paychecks, 5 if you count this one on Friday. Each one's about $1,000. So I'm hoping to save 80% of that, or $4,000. So that would be really great. That'd give me $7,000 minus my move-in costs. So that's about $6,000. I'm hoping to maybe put $5,000 down toward a car and finance $5,000 through CarMax. And that would give me, my dad's going to kick in $1,000 for me. So I think I should be doing okay. And then we'll get a car loan built in, and hopefully my credit, which just turned to fair. I finally got fair credit instead of poor credit, which is awesome. So that means I'm above 640. I worked really hard for that. I started last year at 502, and now I'm at 646. So I've gone up over 140 points, hoping to bring that to, I don't know, maybe 700 by the next year. One thing I can do at my new apartment complex, it's called Bridge Credit Plus, where they report my on-time rent payments and help me build credit. And I'll hopefully have the car loan where I can make on-time payments there too. So hoping to bring that up to 700. I also hope to, after I get the car, save up a few $1,000s to try and pay off my repossession. So that's kind of important. I'm hoping to do that. So I'll just keep door dashing, or I have put the feelers out there to maybe get a job at a restaurant. So, working a lot, but that's okay. That's okay. So I found a new podcast. So I've been listening to the Living A Course in Miracles podcast from Jennifer Hadley. And I found that she kind of speaks the same way a lot. And I kind of settled into, I would listen, but I was only half listening. I would get easily distracted because I kind of already knew what she was saying. So I'm still listening to her, but I've decided to try and put in some other things to toss it up a little bit. And I found another podcast called School for A Course in Miracles. And it's more of a group setting, like classroom setting podcast. But I'm really, really loving it. And there's this guy named Tim who I think does a great job. He's a cute voice too. And Bruce. And there's some girls in there too. I can't remember their names. Not that I'm favoring men over women. I just happen to remember their names. They're kind of more easy to remember. So They're doing a great job. So I'm really enjoying that. They're a little bit longer podcasts. They're about an hour and 20 minutes. So it takes me kind of a few trips to work and back to get one of those listened to, but I'm really enjoying it. And they take somewhat of a more academic approach, kind of where they break down the course, talking about how Jesus uses in the lessons of the workbook first person singular pronouns, and then he moves to second person singular. That he uses the word grievance, 25 times between lesson 68 and lesson 90, things like that, and then he never uses it again. Kind of really that they really analyzed the course and kind of talking about things like that. So I've really enjoyed that so far. But yeah, so speaking of the course, we have I have to be better about looking at the camera. I'm really bad at that. So I want to read today's lesson, which is, I do not know what anything is for. And I think this is a repeat of a previous lesson. No, it's not. I thought it was. So this is purpose is meaning. I do not know what anything is for. Purpose is meaning. Today's idea explains why nothing you see means anything. You do not know what it is for. Therefore, it is meaningless to you. Everything is for your own best interests. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It is in recognizing this that your goals become unified. It is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. You perceive the world and everything in it as meaningful in terms of ego goals. These goals have nothing to do with your own best interests because the ego is not you. This false identification makes you incapable of understanding what anything is for. As a result, you are bound to misuse it. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world, instead of attempting to reinforce them. Another way of describing the goals you now perceive is to say that they are all concerned with personal interests. Since you have no personal interests, your goals are really concerned with nothing. In cherishing them, therefore, you have no goals at all, and thus you do not know what anything is for. Before you can make any sense out of the exercises for today, one more thought is necessary. At the most superficial levels, you do recognize purpose. Yet purpose cannot be understood at these levels. For example, you do understand that a telephone is for the purpose of talking to someone who is not physically in your immediate vicinity. What you do not understand is what you want to reach him for. And it is this that makes your contact with him meaningful or not. It is crucial to your learning to be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. The recognition that they are meaningless rather than good or bad is the only way to accomplish this. The idea for today is a step in this direction. 6 practice periods, each of 2 minutes duration, are required. Each practice period should begin with a slow repetition of the idea for today, followed by looking about you and letting your glance rest on whatever happens to catch your eye, near or far, important or unimportant, human or non-human. With your eyes resting on each subject you so select, say, for example, I do not know what this chair is for. I do not know what this pencil is for. I do not know what this hand is for. Say this quite slowly without shifting your eyes from the subject until you have completed the statement about it. Then move on to the next subject and apply today's idea as before. So for a while, I kind of struggled with this, where where he says everything is for your own best interests. Because I would look at things and I'd think, oh my gosh, the world is full of terrible things, loss and sadness, attack, things like rape and torture and murder. And how could those be for my best interests? And I think that what Jesus is saying is that when I learn how to perceive the world correctly, which is as he does, I can see that, first of all, those things are a departure from God's will. God doesn't ever will any suffering of any kind upon any of his children. So, of course, everything that God wills, which is pure love, forgiveness, upliftment, light, truth, is always for our best interests, right? Everything that God wills for us, every decision he would have us make, every thought that is born from love, every action, every word, every sound, every sight that's born from love is for our best interest. But what about these things that are a departure from God's will? That somebody in that moment chose fear, chose anger, chose upset, judgment, blame, shame, or guilt. How can those things be for our best interests? Well, that's our brother calling out for love. And if we learn how to perceive them correctly, then we will answer them with love. And that lesson, that opportunity to answer a call for love with love is for our best interest. It helps us learn to choose love, whether someone else has chosen fear or not, for us to always choose love, for us to always respond to love. So it's an opportunity to choose correctly, which is in our best interest. So it should have never happened. And if you believe the teachings of the Course, it never has happened, or it never will have had happened. We just are currently perceiving it in our detour into sin. But it seems to have happened. It seems very real. And now we have the opportunity to choose love in response to it. And that choice, that opportunity to choose, is in our best interest. So while the departure from love itself is not God's will, it does present us with the opportunity to choose his will again, which is in our best interest. So, some might say that that's a weak argument, but it has helped me accept that statement that everything is for your own best interests. On some level, ultimately, we had the separation, or the seeming separation, and then we kept separating until we were all these trillions of little pieces, or separated beings. But ultimately, when we return back home, we're all one. And so someone might choose that in our greater consciousness, somebody else choosing fear or anger or upset is also somehow a part of our own choice for separation. And that in forgiving them, that we're forgiving ourselves, and that in extending them love, we're extending love to ourselves. And that by forgiving them and extending love to them, all are lifted from that choice, which is another way we are acting in our own and everyone's best interests, even in the face of a wrong choice or a mistake or a choice for fear or anger or upset. We're recognizing that choice as our own. We've all also been upset. Somewhere through space and time, I've been angry. I've been upset. I've laid shame and guilt and blame on someone or on myself. So when I see my brother doing that, I'm seeing myself. I'm recognizing that has also been my choice, that that's me. And in extending love to them and forgiveness of them, I'm also forgiving my own moments of upset, my own choices of separation. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Um, the laptop was going to turn off. So anyways, it's helped me. That's helped me. So next lesson we have, lesson 26, are my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. So today's reading is not too long, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. My one subscriber, God bless you. I don't know, it might be a bot or something, but it still helps me to see that. It helps me feel like I'm actually speaking to someone, so thank you so much. So this is chapter 15, the Holy Instant, section 6, the Holy Instant and the Laws of God. It is impossible to use one relationship at the expense of another and not to suffer guilt. It is equally impossible to condemn part of a relationship and find peace within it. Under the Holy Spirit's teaching, all relationships are seen as total commitments, yet they do not conflict with one another in any way. Perfect faith in each one, for its ability to satisfy you completely, arises only from perfect faith in yourself. And this you cannot have while guilt remains. And there will be guilt as long as you accept the possibility and cherish it, that you can make a brother into what he is not, because you would have him so. You have so little faith in yourself because you are unwilling to accept the fact that perfect love is in you. And so you seek without for what you cannot find without. I offer you my perfect faith in you in place of all your doubts. But forget not that my faith must be as perfect in all your brothers as it is in you, or it would be a limited gift to you. In the Holy Instant, we share our faith in God's Son because we recognize together that he is wholly worthy of it. And in our appreciation of his worth, we cannot doubt his holiness, and so we love him. All separation vanishes as holiness is shared. For holiness is power, and by sharing it, it gains in strength. If you seek for satisfaction in gratifying your needs as you perceive them, you must believe that strength comes from another, and you gain what he loses. Someone must always lose if you perceive yourself as weak. Yet there is another interpretation of relationships that transcends the concept of loss of power completely. You do not find it difficult to believe that when another calls on God for love, your call remains as strong. Nor do you think that when God answers him, your hope of answer is diminished. On the contrary, you are more inclined to regard his success as witness to the possibility of yours. That is because you recognize, however dimly, that God is an idea, and so your faith in him is strengthened by sharing. What you find difficult to accept is the fact that, like your Father, you are an idea. And like him, you can give yourself completely, wholly without loss, and only with gain. Herein lies peace, for here there is no conflict. In the world of scarcity, love has no meaning, and peace is impossible. For gain and loss are both accepted, and so no one is aware that perfect love is in him. In the Holy Instant, you recognize the idea of love in you, and unite this idea with the mind that thought it, and could not relinquish it. By holding it within itself, there is no loss. The Holy Instant thus becomes a lesson in how to hold all your brothers in your mind, experiencing not loss, but completion. From this, it follows that you can only give, and this is love, for this alone is natural under the laws of God. In the Holy Instant, the laws of God prevail, and only they have meaning. When the Son of God accepts the laws of God as what he gladly wills, it is impossible that he be bound or limited in any way. In that instant, he is as free as God would have him be. For the instant he refuses to be bound, he is not bound. In the holy instant, nothing happens that has not always been. Only the veil that has been drawn across reality is lifted. Nothing has changed. Yet the awareness of changelessness comes swiftly as the veil of time is pushed aside. No one who has not yet experienced the lifting of the veil and felt himself drawn irresistibly into the light behind it can have faith in love without fear. Yet the Holy Spirit gives you his faith because he offered it to me and I accepted it. And through me, the Holy Spirit gives it unto you, as you will give it. Let no need you perceive obscure your need of this, for in the holy instant you will recognize the only need the sons of God share equally. And by this recognition, you will join with me in offering what is needed. It is through us that peace will come. Join me in the idea of peace. For in ideas, minds can communicate. If you would give yourself as your Father gives his self, you will learn to understand selfhood. And therein is love's meaning understood. But remember that understanding is of the mind, and only of the mind. Knowledge is therefore of the mind, and its conditions are in the mind with it. If you were not an idea, and nothing but an idea, you could not be in full communication with all that ever was. Yet as long as you prefer to be something else, like a body, or would attempt to be nothing else and something else together, you will not remember the language of communication, which you know perfectly. In the holy instant, God is remembered, and the language of communication with all your brothers is remembered with him. For communication is remembered together, as is truth. There is no exclusion in the holy instant because the past is gone, and with it goes the whole basis for exclusion. Without its source, exclusion vanishes, and this permits your source, and that of all your brothers, to replace it in your awareness. God and the power of God will take their rightful place in you, and you will experience the full communication of ideas with ideas. Through your ability to do this, you will learn what you must be, for you will begin to understand what your Creator is, and what his creation is, along with him. I'm only an idea. Sorry. I got there. These short shorts are really popular now, so I'm hoping to buy some that aren't workout shorts, just for the weekend. But anyways, we're all ideas. And because we're ideas, we're thoughts. We're thoughts born from the perfect and loving mind of God. We can be shared like an idea and grow. And there's no limit to an idea, to what it can touch or where it can go. And the same is true for God, and the same is true for each one of us. So I love that. And because we're all ideas that can grow and be shared, that can go anywhere, we can communicate with one another as ideas. In the mind, our minds are connected. So I think, and this eventually in the course, he does talk about psychic ability, and I know that that's possible. And of course, as you know from some of my earlier videos, I've had conversations with people in my mind, or beings, or thoughts, ideas. And I very much believe in psychic connection. I don't know how much of what I was experiencing was real to other people in other bodies, just like me, or how much was strictly in my mind, but it doesn't matter. Either way, I do believe that psychic connection is real, that our minds are all connected, and that we can communicate with the mind. So I hope maybe one day to learn more about that or to experience that more in a very loving and peaceful way. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm happy to do this today. You all have a wonderful day. I'm going to try and do this more daily. I'm thinking about waking up in the morning and doing this in the morning. So love you. Okay, have a great day.